Samsung has launched three eerily similar mid-range phones this summer: the Galaxy F22, Galaxy M32, and the Galaxy A22, which has two variants, 4G and 5G. Here, the F22 is the most affordable among them and is probably a better value for money as well. On the other hand, the Galaxy M32 is your typical M series phone from Samsung with a big battery. Finally, the A22 4G, which I will be talking about today, belongs to the company's A series of devices, so it's a better looking device with more emphasis on the camera. I had this violet color option during my hands-on review, which looks stunning. There's also this mint variant that looks equally good. Likewise, the Galaxy A22 comes in a black finish too, which my team has been testing. As you could tell, this one's probably the safest option of the three, although it does attract a lot of fingerprints and smudges. Regardless, the design is something that you will like about the Galaxy A22. It looks and feels much better than the boring-looking Galaxy F22 and the Galaxy M32. Its build quality is also pretty rigid despite the plastic back and frames. Over time, our unit has suffered some scratches at the back, so you will have to be extra careful when using the phone or just slap on a case to be safe. Moreover, the Galaxy A22 is also incredibly light at just 168 grams, and we're fond of its even weight distribution as well. So one-handed usage is actually very good on this device, especially since it's complemented by Samsung's One UI, which is extremely one-hand friendly. Here, the fingerprint sensor, which also doubles as a home button, is embedded on the right frame of the phone. It is located just in the right position for your fingers to reach and unlocks the phone pretty swiftly as well. Okay, moving to the front, the Galaxy A22 does not boast an impressive spec sheet in terms of its display. It comes with an outdated teardrop notch, and on top of that features an HD resolution. So if you compare it side by side with the full HD panel of the Galaxy M32, you will definitely notice the lack of sharpness in the text and app logos. But I think most of us will not find it to be much of a deal breaker since this is a quality AMOLED screen. The colors look good, the touch sensitivity is great, and with the 90Hz refresh rate that's well optimized for the most part, it's not a terrible display to look at despite the spec sheet painting a different picture. Brightness-wise, it is obviously sufficient indoors, although we found it to be struggling to maintain visibility while using the phone outdoors on a bright sunny day. In comparison, the Galaxy M32's display is slightly brighter. However, the ambient light sensor works quite slowly here, so whenever I'm outdoors and I want to check for a message, it has been somewhat of a frustrating experience. Plus, although the phone is Wide One L1 certified, the Netflix app only shows L3 certification and videos are played in 580p SD resolution only. I hope Samsung solves this nuisance via a software update pretty soon. Additionally, the mono speaker on the Galaxy A22 is not that good either. It is okay for watching YouTube videos and such, but if you are a serious audiophile, you will miss the depth and the details that we usually see on upper mid-range and premium phones these days. But then again, we have to factor in what Samsung's asking for this phone before expecting too much. Anyway, I was also expecting its performance to be subpar just like with the Galaxy M32 since it's the same Helio G80 chipset and eMMC storage running the show. Surprisingly enough, we found the Galaxy A22 to be comparatively more fluid and faster than the Galaxy M32. It's probably because the G80 is more efficient to run on an HD display than on a full HD one. Here, multitasking between a few light apps is great too, and Samsung seems to have optimized apps to load a bit faster than the Galaxy M32 on most occasions. Plus, the 90Hz refresh rate works like a charm, and you will not notice any micro lags or such either. Still, like the Galaxy M32, the A22 also comes with eMMC storage, so loading up apps in memory or installing them is not as fast as you would expect from a phone of this price range. Also, if you play a lot of games, you should probably be staying away from Samsung's mid-range phones, including the Galaxy A22. In our test, we were only able to get like 30 FPS in PUBG Mobile under HD graphics and high frame rates. This result is the worst FPS per rupees on a smartphone, to be honest. Dialing down the settings to smooth graphics and ultra frame rates does result in slightly better 38 FPS average though. Still, it goes without saying that Samsung should have included a more capable chipset here. Talking more about gaming, as you can see from this chart, relatively less demanding games like Call of Duty run at 60 FPS with 98% stability, whereas higher FPS optimized games like Critical Ops and Mortal Kombat do not hit the 90 FPS mark and rather max out at 80 FPS. The reason this phone cannot hit a higher FPS mark is most definitely a hardware limitation. Moreover, the Galaxy A22 simply does not stand a chance when playing even more graphically demanding games like Genshin Impact. It struggles to deliver the slightest of hint of playability even when turning down the graphics quality to the lowest and turning off other visual enhancements. Okay, now let's move on to the cameras. As we know, this is where Samsung's mid-range phones usually have an edge over the ones from other brands, and the Galaxy A22 is no exception. But for this review, we tested it out against the company's own Galaxy M32 and found that the Galaxy A22 shoots sharper photos in most scenarios thanks to the OIS. However, after the recent update, both of them produce nearly identical colors and contrast levels. Regardless, ultra-wide-angle images are not that good as they're lacking in details and come out relatively darker when compared to the primary images. We also found A22's portrait photos to be slightly better than those from the Galaxy M32, although the difference is marginal only. Overall, the portrait images are quite good on both these phones. Yet, there's some issue with the Galaxy A22 selfie images as they are not as sharp as the Galaxy M32's and come out looking soft. But I think this is more of a software issue because it happened only after a software update. Likewise, thanks to the OIS, nighttime images have better sharpness and details on the Galaxy A22, and it also does a better job with the night mode turned on. Plus, the videos come out much stable on the A22 while the M32 shoots jerky and wobbly footages. But because of the Helio G80's limitation, you cannot capture 60 FPS or 4K videos here either. Lastly, the battery life on the Galaxy A22 is excellent. Its endurance is almost as good as the M32. Maybe still slightly better on the M32. We constantly managed to get around 7 to 8 hours of screen on time under heavy usage that involved at least an hour of gaming, watching YouTube videos, and using mobile data whenever we were out. So it's easily a day and a half worth of endurance. Additionally, even in this summer heat, we did not notice the phone to get warm, which is something I really like about Samsung's mid-range phones. You see, the company's S series is quite toastier, but the mid-range phones are not, and that's most likely because of the low-powered SoC underneath. Anyway, charging this phone is not very fast. While we've been accustomed to crazy high-speed charging, sadly the Galaxy A22 only supports up to 15 watts of power. Unlike the cheaper F22, it does not support 25 watt super fast charging either. As a result, this 15-watt charger takes like 2 hours and 15 minutes to fill up the phone's 5000 mAh battery from 0 to 100%, while it takes like an hour to get from 0 to 50%, which is pretty slow by today's standard. So let's wrap it all up. Should you buy the Galaxy A22? Well, I think the answer is region specific. That's because the Galaxy A22 costs the same as the Galaxy M32 here in Nepal. So in this case, my recommendation would be to go with the Galaxy A22 because it's better optimized, it has a better camera, and more importantly, it feels like you're holding a premium phone. However, if you're living in India, the Galaxy A22 at 18,500 Indian rupees is a bit on the expensive side, which makes it an easy no for me. Plus, Samsung has also launched the costlier 5G variant of the A22, which is even more ridiculously priced. And like I said in my Poco M3 Pro review, the sad truth with almost every mid-range 5G phone right now is that they are priced quite absurdly, and you might want to skip them until and unless you absolutely want 5G. So guys, that was all for our review of the Samsung Galaxy A22. We're coming up with many interesting review videos like the OnePlus Nord 2 review, Poco F3 GT review, and the review of the Galaxy F22 as well. So please stay subscribed to our channel and hit that notifications icon so that you don't miss out on latest updates.